I know I ruffle some feathers when the vast majority of comments are from men, basically confirming what we all knew to be true, that you are not in community with us, that our collective safety means absolutely nothing to you.
Let me talk to you. Yeah. Shut up, I'm talking.
Find us polite enough, kind enough, quiet enough that our lives are not worth. I know I ruffle some feathers when the vast majority of comments are from men, basically confirming what we all knew to be true, that you are not in community with us, that our collective safety means absolutely nothing to you. Totally throwing out the myth that men are the natural protectors. It's really women. It's women who are constantly putting their bodies and their lives on the line in the protection of men, particularly Black men. And so to hear so many men in the comments basically saying, you're right, we don't care if we don't know you, if we're not having a relationship with you, if we're not related to you, if we don't think that there's any expectation that we're going to have sex with you, we don't care. And it's disappointing, but the reality check is what it is. And I hope women are taking notice of those men, because who would want to be in a relationship with a man who is basically confirming that if he watched a woman being brutally harmed, he would do nothing?
What up, you two? We about to have a discussion right quick. So let me just run on in and say what I got to say to this lady here. Number one, your life, once again, matters, okay? We're not saying as men that your life does not matter. What we're saying is it matters more to people that you're closer to than people that you're not. That's what we're saying. Now, number two, as a man, would you really want to jump into a situation that you know nothing about? And would you want your woman putting you in a situation that you know nothing about? Because that's the problem here. The problem here is you, as a woman, want men to jump into situations that they know nothing of. Like, we grew up learning from women to mind our business in situations that don't concern us. Do not concern yourself with situations that do not concern you. I learned that from a woman. So if I learned that from a woman, what does that mean? That was for your own protection and for your own safety, that you mind your business. Stay safe. Do not concern yourself with things that do not concern you. That was told by many parents growing up. So understand, you want us to go against that and make our lives expendable to other women. Because if it happens once, it'll probably happen again. Now understand, there are circumstances where a man could possibly jump in, but again, there's a risk of harm or, unaliving if anything goes sideways. So, you would really put your man in a position to have himself, or any other man for that matter, could be your father, could be your uncle, could be your brother, your husband, your boyfriend, even your said child. If he's of age, you would let him run into a situation like that? I don't think you will. I think this is just for talking points, because there's no way in life that you could want your man in your life, any man for that matter, to risk his life, especially if he has more to lose than anything else. I don't see that. I don't see that happening. And then I posed this to her on the TikTok platform. How will you make this right if that man loses his life? I would like to know. Here too, YouTube fam, how would you make it right to that man and his family if he loses his life protecting someone he did not know? I'd like to know how. I mean, once again, yes, there are instances where you could probably judge it and see, you know what, yeah, we got to step in. Yes, but once again, knowing when you jump in, you're risking a whole lot. You got to think twice. There are women that need saving. Yes, there are. There are women that need protecting. Yes, there are. There are. But there's a lot of women out here that don't need saving and don't need protecting. Why? Because you're going to jump into a situation and either the woman could turn on you, and now it's you and the person she was arguing with. I don't even know if I said that right. It would be you against the person she was arguing with and her. Imagine that. You came to help her. She turned on you. Now her and her man are going against you. Or the more common one, he steps in, saves her, she goes back to him anyway. Wasted your whole time saving her in the first place. These are things you gotta think about. As a man, these are things that you have to think about when you jump into situations you know nothing about. Now, if you know about the situation, then you can make a conscious judgment to say, you know what, I gotta step in. Because we've all, well, a lot of us have stepped in situations and broke it up. But that's back then. So the level of violence back then compared to the level of violence now is totally different. Back then it was easier to jump in and step in. Now you really want to take that chance. Man with 2 kids, a wife, she's depending on him financially, and you want him to be Superman and jump in there and possibly lose his life. And then I guarantee you, you can't even tell us how you can make it right by him and his family. So that's what you're saying. Men are expendable. Even your own people in your family that are men, including a man if you're married or a boyfriend that you're dating, you consider them expendable. You think they should just rush in and do their thing, spring into action. See, that's where emotion takes over for a lot of women. They're emotional. We already know that, emotional creatures, so they'll jump in and spring in. But my thing here is, when did y'all put not to take it personal, maybe I'm just not thinking about it right now, it's not coming to mind, but she's making it seem like, we're putting our bodies and things on the line for y'all, like we've never done this. And you're saying like y'all do this all the time. I'm sorry, I don't know when y'all did this all the time. Y'all might have done it sometimes, but men do this more often than not. But nowadays, as you see, we end up on the short end of the stick. And I guess men are tired of it. We have to be the person of reason and logic. That's how it works. We have to think things through before we dive in. We have a lot to lose. We already have a lot on our plate. You want to add one more? That's what you want? A lot of us are probably already out here stressed as it is, and you want us to add one more stress onto our plate. And then when you think about it, okay, now if he's married and has kids, are you going to speak to his wife? Are you going to speak to his children? Are you going to send them a check every month because he's not here to take care of them? No, you're not. Because you don't even know who his wife is. You don't know who his kids are. You don't even know who he was, but he came to save you. And he lost his life. What you going to do? Say thank you? And go on with your life. Meanwhile, he's not here. That makes no sense to me. None whatsoever. Certain situations, yeah, I can see it. If that's your job and your job entails saving lives, by all means, get in there and do your job. But if your job doesn't entail saving lives and you don't see how you could, get into a situation and get out of it without being harmed, then you should not jump into a situation. Because despite what women say online, because a lot of women like to embellish the truth, I don't see y'all jumping into male fights. When men are fighting, I don't see women jumping in to break it up. But women will have you sitting there thinking, yeah, we jump in there just like, no. Y'all might jump in when it's a man and a woman, but I don't see y'all jumping in when it's a man on a man. That's what I want to see. I want you to see you spring into action. Then you see 2 males against, I want to see you get in there and break that up. Yeah, I don't do it like we do it. Maybe on the news I might have missed it. I don't remember hearing a lot of times that a woman got killed for breaking up a fight. I know in schools, y'all do it with kids. But out in the streets, that's some funny stuff. I haven't seen it in my personal experience, but I've seen men do it. I've even been a part of it. Me and my crew has been a part of it. So, Miss, once again, everybody's life means something to somebody, but it's going to mean more to people that you're close to than people that you're not. And once again, how are you going to make it right by a man's family and him if he loses his life? What are you going to do?
It also begs the question for why we as Black women should continue to put our lives and bodies on the line in the protection of men who have continuously told us that they are more concerned with being proximity to the patriarchy than they could ever be in proximity to Black liberation, Black justice. It's crazy. It's crazy, but it's in black and white. Those men are telling us who they are. Not all men, not all Black men. Those men are telling us who they are. And we always knew that they were detractors within the community. I just didn't think that they would out themselves.
So a man that won't come to your aid because you protect us with your lives and your bodies. Oh my God, Jesus, I swear, sometimes y'all say stuff on the internet and I'm just trying to understand what the hell you talking about. Do y'all take bullets for us? Do y'all jump in front of things for us? Like, I'm trying to understand really what she's saying here. I'm pretty sure somebody will let me know. If not, I'll just have to figure it out. I'll figure it out. Somebody will tell me, because maybe I'm missing something here, but you act like y'all are on the front lines of everything that we do. That's what it sounds like. Men have risked their lives for women that they didn't know for a long freaking time. And then men, as we evolve and we think about stuff, as things change, everything changes, everything evolves, we see the error in a lot of our ways. We're jumping into things and we're leaving other people behind. So, with that being said, Miss, if you have somebody depending on you and you go out there and do something stupid and get yourself hurt and possibly unalived, you think that's okay? What's that person supposed to do now? And they were dependent on that person. What is that woman supposed to do that was depending on that man? What is she supposed to do now? What? Y'all are not gonna help her after she lost the one thing that was keeping her going. You're not. So, let's just say this as a closing argument, okay? No man is obligated to have to help you, because we don't know you. We don't know what situation you are in. And since we don't know what happened in a situation, we should not jump into a situation. You know this. As a woman, you know this. You don't just jump headfirst into anything and everything. You don't, so why should he? And in the world of equality that y'all fought so hard for, and by default, people that didn't fight against it got signed up by default, this is what happens. And because you can't accept it, it's not our fault. You asked for what you wanted, you got it. If you didn't defend it, you got signed on by default. That's it. Now there's some of y'all out there that express yourselves against it. Great. And then what y'all get for it? Y'all get those people over there dogging y'all out. The truth is a hard pill to swallow, and I see a lot of y'all can't swallow it. It's a damn shame. There's a bitter taste in your mouth, but it's a reality that you have to face. Men have started to wise up and understand that we already got enough on our plate and we have a lot to lose. If we already have to defend our women, our family, why would we want to add anything on the outside of that? Unless we could justify it and get through it without harm or worse. So please make it make sense. Make the math add up. All that patriarchy bull crap, you could throw that to the side. We ain't siding with that. What patriarchy where? Come on, stop using it as the cop-out excuse. There's nothing in black and white. The only thing in black and white is, yes, everybody's life has a value. Do you value your own life? Can we value the lives of people, our people in our lives, even strangers to a degree? But understand, when stuff like this happens, you have to pick a side. You're gonna pick the side that's gonna value you more and that you value more, because that's what you're there to protect initially. It is what it is. I'm sorry you don't like it. I'm sorry we can't change that fact. Violence from back in the day and violence now is two different types of violence. And just like y'all have to be careful, and y'all want to dog men and talk about, oh, we have to treat all men like they're dangerous, well, guess what? We gotta treat all women like you're gonna put us in a position for us to get hurt or worse. I'm sorry. We'd love to protect y'all, and if we can, we will, but at the risk of what? At the risk of our lives. We're not expendable for y'all, especially for strangers who we don't even know. I mean, let's be real. You've been in junior high school, you've been in high school, you've seen situations. You've been on these streets. You've seen people get in where they fit in, and stuff went south real quick. So please, the manipulation, you may not see it as such, but the manipulation, it's not gonna work. All the things you're saying, your talking points can be counted any given day, on any given Sunday, throughout the week. It could be counted. There's no justification for you to say what you're saying. It doesn't add up. Just understand. Men think logically before we act. We have no choice. And that's how it is. And I'm really tired of having this conversation. I'm really tired of having to hear this all the time. And I'm tired of you as a woman, and some of you women out here, trying to make it seem like it's a negative and trying to put all sorts of spins in it, plot twists, and make it right. And it's all stemmed from a situation called Brickgate that, as of right now, never even happened. So now what? Here we are again with the same old rhetoric going against black men. There's already a less amount of us here as it is, especially compared to women. And you want to lose more? Really? That goes to an agenda here. And I'm not even going to that part because this is it for me. But you need to talk to some of you women out there and see what's going on with them and some of the hidden agendas and all the man hate, and ask them what's going on. Ask them, have some of them to protect you. Those are the ones that got you signed up to this equality anyway. Talk to them. Find out what their thing is about. See what their agenda is. Because for men, it's plain and simple. We right here. If y'all act right in certain scenarios, things won't even have to happen in the first place. But in case it does, just understand, we'd love to help you if we can. But if it's gonna get us in a bad place, then we can't do it. We got a lot to lose and we can't afford to lose.
Thanks for your cooperation. Let's go.